While 2020 has been a year marked with tragedy and heartache, by necessity, education innovations and new approaches have emerged out of the turmoil and have presented real opportunities to transform the education worldwide. As the world contemplates a new year and is returning to normalcy, we must ensure we don't simply revert to the pre-COVID ways of operating. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Amrita Cafe. What have we learned? The lessons from the pandemic 2020. A good discussion increases the dimensions of everyone who takes part in it. At Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, we aspire to join hands with institutions, parents and teachers to provide value-based education and mold the character of the younger generation through a system of wholesome learning. Amrita Cafe aims as serving as a forum to table these challenges and explore the solutions to cope up with the current educational scenario. Today, we have with us Ms. Sugandhi Vishwanathan, Principal Ekalavya International School. I would like to welcome Sugandhi ma'am to join us for today's discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, Nija. Thank you for welcoming me.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, the pandemic brought the involvement of a lot of technology into the teaching methods. So, in what all ways did it play a big role in making the teaching more interactive because of the involvement of a lot of technology, and the students and the teachers, they were not able to see face to face, like it was completely online. So how did it play a big role in making it more interactive? Can you just put some insights on it?
Yeah, Nija, to pretend that everything was hunky-dory, I would say that would be a biggest lie that I would have uttered. You know what? The whole educational fraternity was thrown into this big ocean full of whales, okay? Unknown whales. That's how we thought. 22nd of March, it was announced that the schools would close. And we didn't know what had hit us. It was all happening in Italy. Why were we suddenly asked to shut? And what
Uh,
yeah. So just a moment, yeah. Yeah. Just yeah. Am I visible now? Yeah. So the thing is, we didn't know what to do. Till then, we had used WhatsApp to correspond with parents, and then WhatsApp broadcast came. That was also we were very happy. We thought we had upgraded ourselves digitally, and then we had these smart boards in the class. We were of the thought that we are a very digitally upgraded school and all that. Come March 22nd, we didn't know what to do. Board exams were approaching, and it is not so easy facing board exams every year. I do it every year. For the past 20 years, I've been facing this board exam. And you have a combination of students, some weak in academics, those who don't want to do well and those who want to do well. And then there's a I care to hoods type, middle benchers. We always go through this turmoil of, how are we going to do well in board exams? Okay, we are all a typical school when it comes to board exam. Otherwise, we are all a very creative school. Okay, so uh, we stood there, and I still remember standing with my colleagues at 5 o'clock in the evening, knowing that we had to start classes. So my son is in Fox School of Business, Philadelphia. So I called him, and it was early morning for him. And he said, "What is this? Why are you waking me up, ma?" Then I told him, "Look, I want to know whatever we are facing, you're already facing, and you have started your online classes and all that. How do you go about taking online classes?" Then he said, for India, because you people will not be spending much, Zoom is the ideal platform. So at 5 o'clock, we went up and we tried our first Zoom. Okay. So, and evening 7:30, we had an orientation with class 10 and 12 students, telling them that we'll be going on Zoom and everybody has to download Zoom app. Zoom was a little kind-hearted then. The restriction of 40 minutes had not come. Okay, so we were very happy. We started our Zoom class. Okay, first day, it was all very good. We fixed up a camera, we had a board in place, and teachers came to the school and took class. And for first 1 week or so, there was no problem because teachers came. The camera was facing the board and the Zoom classes were going. The students were at home. Then came the lockdown restrictions, even tighter. They said even teachers cannot come to school now. This was a big challenge for us. So we started thinking what to do, what to do. One good thing of having a very old principal and young teachers is that the young teachers really assume the role of, the mentors. Okay, so the teachers took up the role of the mentor, and they came up with, all the shops were closed. We are not used to having camera stands and things like that. At the most, we had selfie sticks. Okay, so my teachers, they came up with the idea of using a selfie stick between two chairs, keeping the notebook down, and started taking classes. And I was so inspired by them. It is like there is a saying in Tamil, வல்லவனுக்கு புல்லும் ஆயுதம். Okay, so for the person who has the will, okay, and the attitude, right attitude, even grass becomes a weapon for him. So I started learning how teachers were coping up, with this new technology. And then there were some people who kept calling and said, "Ma'am, Zoom call. I'm rattling and rattling. I don't even know whether my children are there online." So we thought, okay, fine. Then the young will have to teach the olds. So we started having Zoom sessions on how to use Zoom. So that started. We didn't. One good thing I'm very proud of, it's like right from the day of pandemic, there's not been a single day when the school has not been operational. So all kudos to my young teachers, young blood. Okay, so who took up. See, one more thing was, since most of my children, okay, from class 6 onwards, use their parents' cell phone more than their parents. Okay, it was easy to communicate with them, and they came online Zoom, and they put it on Instagram. Our Zoom classes have started and things like that. We became very popular also during that time because a lot of people came to know that Eklavya has started school. Okay, so all that started happening. Initially, for the first 2 months, all of us got upgraded to Zoom. Okay, we got upgraded to Zoom, and suddenly there was this news. Nothing was going wrong in my platform, mind you. Okay, there was this news that obnoxious pictures were being shown in Zoom. Some people were, using the platform to malign the entire educational system and all that. And suddenly, parents woke up. All those days, parents were not like, they said, "No, no, my son will not attend Zoom classes." Okay, fine. I didn't know. Then I had to buy time. Thank God we had 15 days holidays. So I bought time. Then we started talking to various partners. So it had to fit our pocket, and it had to, and Teams, Microsoft was generous enough to give us Teams. So we upgraded to Teams at the end of the summer. Suddenly, we were all getting used to, Zoom classes. And we thought, okay, even if the pandemic goes, Zoom is very, very friendly. It allows us to share the screen. There's a whiteboard option. We had also understood that we can have this pad, which Amazon was shelling out for more money then. Okay, so we started writing on those pad and all that. We had started all those gimmicks with Zoom, and we had breakout rooms and all that. A beautiful facility. Then later on, Zoom became confused 40 minutes. Okay, free time, no breakout rooms, nothing. By then, we had upgraded to Team. Then it started all over again because different platform. And for us to, make our teams, schedule our calendar, all that was new for us, because Zoom calendar, once you schedule, we knew, and all was getting stored in cloud. Here we had to tie it up with OneDrive. Okay, we had to download from live streaming, put it in OneDrive, share the link with parents, put it in a tracker. You won't believe, of all the teachers, I was the one who faced the most hardship, because I was also teaching. And for me to upgrade, because I wanted to know what pains. It's very easy to sit and say, come on, upgrade to this, upgrade to that. But knowing the pain of upgrading, uh, but you know what? This journey has been so beautiful. So beautiful in the sense, at least I know more than 2019. Okay, a little more about the digital thing. And also, not only here in the personal front also, I made my TV into a smart TV by installing a Fire Stick, which I learned. Okay, all these learnings are, every day there is a new learning, and every day uh, there is a new learning from my staff, my students. Okay, like I always, I was sharing with you initially, I always had the naughtiest student in the class as my co-host, because he would ensure two things. First thing, he would not vanish, he will not drop off. Second thing, he was very vigilant. He was always looking forward to the time when I would drop off because of network issue, and he would become the host. Okay, so he felt very powerful. So all these things, I started appreciating my students and their caliber, and the way they quickly adapted to the situation, and how vibrant they were. Even if I felt, I still remember everybody used to keep their cameras switched off, and they would unmute themselves only when asked a question. And I started getting student sick, like you get homesick. I was getting student sick because I couldn't see their face. Okay, for me, the biggest positive energy was, I would get when I walk into the school, and the children would turn and greet me and smile at me and say, "Happy morning, ma'am," and I would get all that positive energy, this big ball of energy hitting me. I was missing out on all that, and so you know what? I introduced something called a chill period. So I spoke to my teachers on a Zoom call. I would meet them every week, and we would have a talk, and what has been the issue and all that. And then I suddenly felt that the children are losing connect with us. Okay, because everybody goes into the class, starts the class, takes the class, but where is the connect? So I started something called the chill period. Okay, so we had 1 hour sessions in team, and 10 minutes would be only for the children to interact with each other, because they were also missing their friends. Okay, and 5 minutes was for the teacher to interact with them on what they had for breakfast, what did they do, how are they keeping themselves, and can the teacher have a look at their face and what they are wearing, are they sitting on the bed and things like that. So this chill period actually chilled everybody. Children, whether they They were taught, those time issues were gone because they wanted to interact with their friends, which is what they were missing. So this children were those children who were nice and lean and all, they had become chubby cheeked over 3 months. Okay, they looked cute, nevertheless, but then chubby cheeked. That's when I realized that we are missing out on a lot of physical activity. So we started something called Zumba classes. Okay. So those Zumba classes would be in the afternoon. Okay. Just before lunch, where the class teacher, would get on to a platform, 30-minute platform, and a Zumba YouTube song would play in loop, okay, with the video. And the teacher, along with the thing, would say, okay, and children loved those Zumba classes. And then after 15 days, teachers came and said, I went into one of those Zumba classes so that I can be a part of the dance group. I saw the dance routine has changed, the song has changed. The teacher said, children suggested this to me, ma'am, the harder steps. So I think I'm also getting to learn Zumba classes with them. So the physical activity was taken care uh, by the yoga classes that we gave. Okay, and the Zumba classes. Yoga, of course, the attendance was very minimal because children didn't want to do breathe in, breathe out, and all that. So in the Zumba classes, we would do a little bit of breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, and we had a lot of time of fun time with the children. And I would enter into any random Zumba class and dance with them, and wear a proper attire and go. And they would say, Principal must come, let's dance, let's dance, let's dance. So that connectivity I could actually form, not because of the subjects and all. Subjects, tell me, Nija, were you really interested in the subjects? You're always interested in the friend next to you. Okay. So my this thing was we learned student psychology, from their shoes. And my teachers, they started exploring the net a lot. Okay, so we came up with assessment systems which are like gamified assessment systems. We had already tied up with an online math platform, okay, called Prodigy, which was like learning, self-paced learning. And the teacher chooses a curriculum, say probably a Cambridge curriculum, and say on probability, and the child would play 10 levels. Okay, after the 10th level, 11th level, he'll have to do around 15 sums in probability to get a lot of power and to go to the 11th. A lot of gamification of math. And mm, you know what? One more thing we understood. Okay, in a smart class also, if we wanted to show a YouTube, okay, we had to sit in a system, download the YouTube, put it in our pen drive, take it to the system, put it in, and then show. All that planning used to happen. But now, the teacher would say, wait, 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 I have this YouTube ready here. Okay, let's go watch this, and then we'll come back. So that started happening. Those were the positives, I'll say. Everything in your fingertips. So, and I would also say children, they taught me how to, open curtains in PPTs. Okay, they said, ma'am, use this, ma'am. I'll teach you how to do it. Okay, this will look nice on it. I learned it from them because when I still remember, I told my children, I was teaching history, and I said I would like to know more about United Nation organization. We are only studying about five, hands of UNO. I would love to know more about it. And children said, okay, ma'am, give us a week's time. They will come back. And, there was a lot of teamwork, collaboration, and they presented me with such amazing, you know, facts, and they took me inside United Nation organization. They're saying the current issues that are being spoken in United Nations, what are, how does this thing, they spoke about the general secretary. They took me into the headquarters of UNICEF, and all that. They did a virtual tour of all this. Then I knew that I am in the wrong seat. I should be that side, and they should be here. Okay, so my respect for my children went up, and their confidence on me went up. That I can. I taught Princey ma'am that, that is that pride factor, that they will be cherishing their life throughout their life. And that was very important, Nija, for me. Because connecting with children was important. Connecting with parents was important, because I would have sessions where we say, let's uh, uh, meet. Okay, let's just meet over a cup of tea. Okay, or let's team up and meet. And they would all come, keeping aside their work, and they would just come and say, ma'am, I wish to talk to you, I wish to. That would be a counseling session for parents, orientation session for parents. All that I could do sitting at home, thanks to COVID. Okay, or else I'm not one kind of a person to come on Teams app and talk to Nija or Amrita Cafe. I would be happy sitting on my seat, okay, thinking the world is this school. I was also able to meet a lot of educational fraternity because of such platforms that you people have created, getting to know more, learning to know more, and somehow this this compulsive, digitalization, okay, that's what I would call this, has put us one notch closer to each other. Albeit, we are not able to hold hands, but we know we are actually sharing this platform together. That's one thing that we have learned. I also want to share with you about the learning Saturdays. So every Saturday we would meet for 3 hours. Okay. And I would be student. Okay. We would propose the previous Monday on what we are going to learn new. Okay, and couple of teachers, we learned how to make our videos, we learned how to use OneNote, we learned how to use Teams app better, because there were so many things in Teams app that we had not explored. We would open, take class, give assignment, give assessment in Microsoft Forms. That's it. Happy. Then we knew there was something called insight. There was something called polls. There was something called all that came into, then one teacher who just very inexperienced teacher who just joined us last year. She said, have you people tried quiz.com? Then we started exploring. Each one wanted to prove one notch over the other. We started exploring all the free platforms that we can use for assessment and learning. One suggested there's something called fet.colorado.edu. Okay. Amazing. That website is free, and so many simulations, so many videos. You don't need to actually go into a lab. Everything is available over there, and that's available free of cost. Okay. Olabs is available for 9-10 your curriculum, free of cost. So, we could actually make children do simulations that we start doing in engineering college. Okay. So that we started doing for class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Doing all that. We started using something called class marker for giving assessments. So where we had timing, a negative marking, all that for class 9, 10, 11, 12 for their objectives. Oh my God, so much is available outside. Now we are also exploring Padlet. We are exploring something called what is it called? I'll give you the name. Sorry, I'll give you the name. It's called Quizlet, and then there is something called what is that called? Mm, I am not getting the name. We are using a lot of apps now. I'm not using it. Okay, that's why I'm finding it difficult. Okay, so my teachers have started using a lot of apps that we can also use for post-COVID classrooms. Like I have used started using Padlet, and if I need something, I just post it to my teachers, share the link, and ask them to share their ideas, images, everything. So I get a collage of what people think, so we can do a brainstorming session over it. So all that, so many platforms are there which can be used. So
And the best part, we wouldn't thought all this if such kind of situation has not come. If the pandemic has, yes, we would have not thought like traditional educational methods that we were following for all these years, we have not moved here or there anywhere. But these many innovations that this principle to I am talking to everyone who's watching this. So these many innovative methods that she have brought to the school. I wish I was studying in your school because it's great. It's really amazing. Like it's education is not about studying what is there in the textbooks. It's about learning outside also and learning from the students also. That's something I felt like amazing that you have told. Like you told, you are learning from the students. There is nothing
yes,
bad because they are far ahead than us in terms of technology.
yes,
That's something great we will have to take from them also. So it's actually give
yes.
and take policy. Yeah. So it's amazing,
True.
and hats off to you, ma'am, for bringing up these many innovations and making the difficult phase students would have had into an amazing phase that they will never forget. And I would like to know, like, how are you going to keep this forward? Like, once, as of
Mm,
now, online classes have almost come to an end, and
mm,
students started coming to school also. So,
mm.
how are you going to continue this? It's not something that we will have to drop and just go back to the traditional methods, right? So, I would like to know how are you going to take this forward in the upcoming classes in school?
Yeah, so I told you. So as the pandemic, usually when the pandemic comes to a close, there is a sigh of relief. Okay. Uh, for us, we started thinking, oh my God, again, फिर से. Okay. How do you go about it? Do we go back to the chalk and talk method? Do we go to the unsmart, smart classrooms, things like that? So we have thought, okay, that we are going to use curriculum as a base and not textbooks, okay? And we are going to use the spiral curriculum, okay? So this I'm sharing with everyone across because I feel there are two things that we need to really take into stock. One is if children are glued to the tablet or whatever, okay, it's because of our doing, okay. Uh, why don't we gamify things, okay, so that learning becomes happy? There is learning happening, there is learning at one's own pace happening, and then there is assessment happening, and also a design that is created to suit each student. Okay, so we are planning, when the child comes to school, he should not be thinking that he is going to be with a book and the pen and all the time and all that. So, what I have done, what we are thinking of into think rooms, okay, into labs where learning will happen in a gamified manner in the school. Okay. How do we go hybrid is my question, because suddenly we should not be reinventing the wheel and all that. Okay. And the mobile phones are in the hands of the children. So we've already started something called, there are some wonderful games online. Okay. Okay. I'm not talking about Free Fire and PUBG and things like that. Okay. I'm talking about games like Blockadoo, uh, uh, games like Tangram, games like, Word Space. Those are uh, those are games, okay, that they go levels up, and the teacher can actually ask them to download this and start playing and come and show which levels they are in. Say when it comes to vocabulary, okay, I give you, say, I'll give you 5 letters, of which you will have to make at least 7, 8 words. Okay, find the meaning, write sentences. Okay, vocabulary is built. I have, you understand what I'm trying to say? Make use of the online platform. Okay, now again, Padlet is something that is amazing. That is amazing. I feel, which can be used. It's free, and it can be used. And Kahoot is another that we can use. Okay, so Padlet, what we can do is, if you open Padlet, I'll open. Okay, sorry, I'm using the mobile during the session, but then I thought I'm so thrilled. This is Padlet, okay? This is Padlet. I don't know. I'll have to showcase it to you. There is something called wall. There is something called canvas. There is something called stream. There's something called grid. There's something called shelf. There's something called map. And there is something called timeline. As you would rightly guess, map is for geography, all the projects, assessments, assignments of geography. Okay, so you can add contents to points on a map and give it as a homework assignment for them to find out, fill it and share it in the Padlet itself. So, on my dashboard, I'll have all the assignments, and I can discuss those assignments with other children. Each one can be given one assignment. They can be asked to explain the assignment in the classroom. It's an extension activity. Likewise, if you see a timeline, okay, I can place content along a horizontal line. Okay, I can place the content, I can give it away, and I can still, ask them to read a chapter, put it on a timeline, and share it and come and discuss it with my children. So it could be comparative timelines, when something was happening in India. Okay, what was happening in France? What exactly was happening in Germany? What was happening in Ireland? So when you do a comparative timeline chart, you have 5 teams working, collaborating on timelines of a definite period. Say I'm talking about 1700s. Okay, what happened in Portugal? What happened in Germany in 1700? What was happening in India? What was happening in China? Okay, and what exactly was happening in Australia? Now think, have we ever learned history in this manner? If we had learned history in this manner, okay, we would have clarity that look, there was something or the other happening across the world during 1700s to 1800. And this is the clear picture I have. And then you ask them to connect those timelines and see if there is any connection that is happening. If something is happening in Portugal that is relevant to what is happening in India, they have made the connection. You ask them to make a geoboard out of it. You understand what I'm saying? So it all depends on the teacher's creativity of how she uses Padlet. You can actually put anything on the wall. Like I have put something on my wall for my teachers. I wanted lab ideas. Okay. So creative language lab ideas, creative geography lab ideas, creative science, not the lab, chemistry, physics, traditional labs. I want something creative. I want think rooms. I want thinking corners. I want to push children to do something. So they put their ideas into it. Okay. So when we brainstorm, we get all those ideas. Then we create something out of it. So just imagine a school of 600 brains coming up with ideas. What more, enriching experience would you want? So, and considering every idea is great. Okay. So, generally, what happens is we tend to think some ideas to be stupid, and that's why in the classroom atmosphere, children seldom open their mouth and give out their ideas. Okay. It has happened to you, it has happened to me. Okay. Will I look stupid if I say this? Okay. Should I give my idea? But here there is no such thing. No, you can share your idea. Somebody thought, okay, that they will go to the moon. Till then, my mother was showing me the moon and feeding me mouthfuls of curd rice. Okay. By then, people had landed on the moon. Okay. When I was eating curd rice, people had landed on the moon. Some stupid idea became a reality. Some stupid idea will become a reality. So, what we consider to be stupid is only our map. It is not the complete territory. So, I believe that there is a great idea behind every idea. And so, these are the platforms I feel, whether it is Kahoot or whether it is Quizlet or any of the platforms that are available. A lot of thought has gone about it, and the immense respect that education has faced, has got received from the online, the IT people. Okay, in the last few couple of years, I would say hats off to them because I and you wouldn't be talking over Teams if Microsoft had not thought that they should allow us to use this platform. And that I think is the greatest salute I would give to the IT industry also, because they have provided us as this platform. More and more people are working on bringing education to the windows, not the doorstep, to the windows, and to the screens. So I am grateful to a whole lot of things, to the parents who accommodated all these new ways. They had to actually sacrifice their cell phones, to their children for a long time. Uh, while I talk about all this, Nija, okay, because your name means truth, okay, there is a truth, there's a sadness, okay, in me. So many across our country and the world have been deprived because of this COVID. Okay, I'm very enthusiastic about what we have achieved because we are the privileged class. You understand? We are the people with the cell phones in hand. I have, in fact, 3 cell phones in my hand with 3 different numbers and a laptop. Privileged class we are. What about those who could not? And I really, really laud people who have gone to the doorsteps of the students, government school teachers who've gone to the doorsteps of students and taught them something, uh, given them worksheets and made them continue with their studies. But then at the grassroots level, we have not had the significant amount of impact that we should have had. So I, as a part of the education fraternity, feel that there should have been some sort of inclusiveness in this. Okay, so where we say we are opening our doors to government school children also. Okay, so somewhere where they could have also taken advantage of our education system, things like that. Of course, they could not, most children cannot afford an Android
Yes.
phone. Okay. Probably, next year when we speak, COVID would have gone, but I would see technology seeping into the grassroots level. Okay, that's something that I'm looking forward to. That's one thing that I feel we should hope for. You know,
Yes.
that's a true reality. Uh, we do not talk about it. We talk about what we have. We don't talk about what others don't have. Yeah, we are a privileged class. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. You have spoke about the right things. Like, I completely agree with whatever things you have told now. As a principal, you will be more concerned about the school, what all things you can do within your school. But it's so great of you that you are worried about students who are not able to get this privilege also. And we all can hope in the upcoming years everything will be equal and everyone will get the same privilege and everyone will be able to use technology equally. It's open to all,
Yes.
but everyone is not able to access it. That's the problem. Yeah. So, yes, so that's all we have for today. And I would like to conclude by saying that if we are going to make changes, think about the changes that make sense and use this as an opportunity to innovate in ways you may have felt like too lazy to do before. So it's always
Yes.
about innovate, bringing up innovations, upgrading ourselves all the time. So yeah,
Yes.
that's it. Yeah. I would like to thank Ms. Suganti Vishwanathan ma'am for spending her valuable time and joining us today for Amrita Cafe. And I would like to thank each and everyone who had been a part for today's session. I hope you all had a wonderful session. If you have any queries, you may please write to us at workshops@cb.amrita.edu. And to watch the previous sessions of Amrita Cafe, you may please visit www.amrita.edu/Amrita Cafe. We'll see you all with an exciting new episode with solutions, tips, and tricks to make the teaching, learning, and parenting experience a fun experience. Wishing you all a good evening. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank
I
you.
want thinking, what will I speak? I'm, after all, one of the principals who have undergone this. Um, yes, but then if something that I have shared is of use to others, uh, if somebody can, just jot down whatever sites I talked about,
Yes.
I would be happy. And if you get queries about online platforms, please do get in touch with me so I can help you and I
Sure.
can help other teachers also. Okay. Thank you and love you so much.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
you've been such a wonderful host.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Good.